Hello friends and welcome. With patch 7.34 around the corner, I thought we could do something a little bit different and talk about the worst heroes of the current patch and why they're not played, what we might hope to see changed in the next patch so that they can come back into relevance. These are the stats from the Riyadh Masters, the most recent major tournament and last of the patch, and there's actually only 6 heroes that were totally ignored, which is honestly not too bad, all things considered. There have been patches and tournaments where there's a lot more in this totally ignored category. There are quite a few heroes with maybe just like 1 to 5 games picked or banned. They're not very popular either. We won't talk about every single hero since they all kind of fall under like 3 categories if they're not in the meta. 1, they fit the meta, but their numbers aren't very good. 2, they are naturally countered by the meta, even if they themselves are technically like a good hero in certain situations. The common picks just naturally counter them, so you don't see these types of heroes. And then 3, they just don't fit the meta at all. Even if their numbers are good, they're not doing what is like currently good, which right now I would say is very strong lanes into active gameplay. Abaddon was looking pretty good, but got nerfed in 7.33D, lost 25 attack speed, and a mana increase on his shield, so that just hurt him in all the roles, which hurts his flex pick value. So core, carry, or offlane, I don't think I ever saw mid Abaddon. You know, he's a universal hero, so people were doing the Harpoon, maybe like Radiance stuff, Manta, things like that. Hephaestus, please stop chewing my wires, thank you. He had some value as a core in that sense, but losing the attack speed means his laning stage was worse, can't get the Curse of Avernus going, and just can't harass as well. The items he buys have less value because he's not attacking as fast, so that hurt him there. As a support, he's not harassing as well because he doesn't have that same laning stage damage with the attack speed, plus the shield is then harder to spam, and there's a lot of mobile heroes, so it's hard for him to keep up with them to shield them, or like you need lockdown from your supports to kill them because like a popular item was like Pavis, Glimmer, Solar Crest. Those are like saves, the auras, right? Those are the save elements, so your supports, they can add more saves, but they also would preferably enable you in other ways, and Abaddon didn't really have that, or it was very difficult because he had the silence, but he needs to attack 4 times, and he just lost 25 attack speed. Centaur Warrunner was just heavily countered by many popular heroes, so in the laning stage, you got someone like Undying making his life miserable, you have carries like Medusa Morphling who just don't care about you, and they're getting the farm, you're not really pressuring them. Later on, like the unique part of Centaur is Stampede, and there's just natural responses to that. So, for example, Bloodseeker Rupture, one of the most popular carries, means you're trying to save someone, and you would have them run away. They can't run; they're gonna die. Like Batrider could lasso, prevent you from running. Naga Siren Song, the whole team can't run. Same with like Chrono and Black Hole. You could surge after the people stampeding. Medusa, you try to like run at her, initiate with Stampede, but then you can't like look at her, so everyone just like turns around, Stampede's ends. So like there's just too many heroes that like beat him in the lane, beat him in the game, and don't offer, like he doesn't offer as much as other offlane picks who had stronger laning presences than him. In my opinion, Dazzle's super weak because his laning stage is awkward. Q, Poison Touch, it's very hit or miss. If they have no escapes and they're like melee slow heroes, you can just run them down and get tons of value. But if they have any form of dispel or escapes or stuns and then they like run away, slows and they run away, then you don't get any value off of Q, and it means you don't even you add very little. You could auto attack, but any ranged hero can do that. You have Grave to prevent like dives, but it doesn't necessarily help you farm better. Shadow Wave, the heal, kind of useful, but it is going to push the lane out as a position 5. You don't really want to do that all the time to be able to like do anything in the lane. So then that's like, it's all really awkward. The active items I thought would synergize with his new ultimate, but the ultimate does not work with Mech and Greaves, and then I think the ultimate numbers are just a little awkward on him. So coming out of a bad lane into like questionable mid game, like he didn't have a good spot. Grimstroke, I think all the abilities make sense for the current meta, but they're just too much risk, too little reward guaranteed. So like Q is a skill shot that needs to hit creeps. So as a position 5, that doesn't feel great. As a position 4, that could work, but it means you're always shoving in the lane, which means there's not much space to run people down with your shield. Now you could maybe tower dive with the shield, but again, that's like a little awkward, right? It's a little more risky than possibly getting a kill outside of the tower. Your silence can be good, but it takes time for it to actually do its damage, and if they attack twice in that time, then they get gold. You get nothing, they get gold. So just the whole like combo of his regular abilities outside the ultimate were very expensive, like mana cost, cooldown, and they all had ways to be dealt with. Either they have like some aggressive dispel, like Enchantress can remove the shield from you, or they like lift you up like Rubik, or they just keep you so low like Undying that you can never feel comfortable committing in. Grimstroke for a long time has felt very awkward, and it's because he was too overpowered when he first came out, and he's been nerfed so many times that now I think it's just hard to play with his abilities with the amount of risk and coordination required to properly pull it off. I do think the ultimate is still like pretty solid. His Ags is pretty good. But I just think the ability is just too awkward compared to others. Omni Knight is hard countered by Nullifier. I don't even know if we need to talk more about it, but it's similar to like someone like Abaddon. He's a very save-focused hero, but he preferably works with strength heroes, of which there's not many popular strength carries right now. And then, you know, you try to work with other carries, but they just nullify your key skills. And what do you offer then? It's not like you offer a strong laning stage compared to someone like Undying Enchantress. So like, poor lane, poor game. Why would you play Omni Knight? PA is a weak laner who then can't even jungle quickly. So if we look at top heroes, you know, laning against Timbersaw, Broodmother, Darkseer, you know, Enigma, these are heroes who all might kick you out of the lane pretty quickly. Batrider. So how fast are you going to jungle? Well, if you're a hero like Bloodseeker, you're a strong laner. You also heal so you can jungle. You got Naga, fast jungle speed with Illusion. Same with Medusa. Faceless with the heals, or not heals, but like, you know, Time Walk to reduce damage taken. Morphling, you know, very good at manipulating health. Play the lane, Terrorblade, right? All these heroes, stronger laning presences in some way, or they jungle, if not both of those. So PA just like doesn't have a very strong place compared to many of these heroes because she takes time to ramp up. She must build Battle Fury and then farm. That's like, it's really the only build she has right now, and it's not good. And so if she had like a different build because her skills like scaled a little differently, she could just fight sooner. That might work. But currently that's not really being done. So she has to get Battle Fury, and then like she has to like farm up and then hope she deletes people like she's an assassin. But with the popularity of universal heroes, many heroes are now tankier than they used to be. Even with the like base health decrease, it was kind of balanced out by the strength change from 20 to 22. But like so many core heroes that you want to try to kill now have like a lot of armor and a lot of health because they're building all stats from the popular builds, compared to like when there's like more intelligence heroes playing in the mid lane, then, you know, they're easier to kill. They tend to have lower armor, lower health. PA can kind of assassinate them in her BKB. But when you're dealing with like Snapfire mid, Timber mid, like who are you killing in that time? I don't want to talk about every single hero here for the sake of time, but maybe we can touch on some of the supports. It does come down to a lot of the same stuff as, you know, these 6 heroes, just like either a weak laning stage or don't fit the early active gameplay or deal with like the super meta heroes. So like Hoodwink, there's a lot of heroes that accidentally cut trees like Timber, Storm Spirit, Darkseer, Enigma, Batrider. So just by accident, her W is like harder to land. Plus the stun duration nerf means like there's less setup time for her ultimate. So I think she's just like having a harder time. Tree and Protector, laning stage got hurt by the tree formation and the nerf to his passive, along with the fact that he's better versus BKB heroes than Manta heroes, because Manta, you just like, yeah, pop whatever, I don't care. Like it's very low cooldown. But BKB, right? Then when they use BKB and you ult, that's a huge deal to be stuck in that for a long time. So this universal meta favored a lot of Manta builders along with all the illusion carries, so Treant wasn't having a great time against them. Shadow Shaman is very short range, so his laning stage was hard, and then like the lockdown's kind of good, but all those mobile heroes can also then gap close on him if he's like locking one person down, so I don't think he was having as good of a time. And then the ultimate is classically used for like taking objectives, but that just wasn't really needed right now. There were many heroes who were capable of doing it without extra help from Shadow Shaman. Marchi support, she's mixed between core and support, and the nerfs to her as a core hurt her as a support, so the abilities are way too long cooldown, so she hasn't seen much play. Warlock, really long cooldowns, not really fitting the current meta. Nyx and Earth Spirit do fit the meta, I just think their numbers aren't very strong, and that kind of like, that description kind of carries through between these heroes as you go higher up. Venge really needs some buff. She's just not very good for a long time. Q is such a short stun. It does a decent chunk of damage, but it's like single target. I don't know. She needs something, please. She's not been good for so long. I know we didn't talk that in detail about everything, but let me know if you think I missed something. Let me know your favorite heroes that you're hoping to see a buff in the next patch. I personally am hoping for Grimstroke and Venge buffs, and maybe like support Invoker, support Kunkka. I'd love to see some like weird stuff back. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in another video.